that flash of his eyes, that actually does happen when we find someone that we fancy. Our eyes widen to take them fully in. Though there is one thing inaccurate, is usually when we see something we like, our pupils dilate. They don't constrict to be smaller. We want to let in more light, but you could assume that for a vampire, perhaps that would be the opposite. I do like it that Mizrak actually got the jump on Olrox. People often ask, how do you choose who you fall in love with? How do you know what character traits? Often it's something unconscious, something that you're unaware of. Usually it's something from your childhood. It could be a personality trait that you found endearing or comforting or protective. Perhaps you really had a wonderful parental figure that showed you a lot of care and you looked up to them and felt safe. Sometimes, though, it is the antithesis of something. Perhaps you had someone that was really reactive and you didn't enjoy that, so you might find someone exactly the opposite of those traits. But usually it's formed really, really young, and so it's often unconscious to us. And that means that sometimes we will fall into the same traps of dating similar people, and sometimes that's good that we've chosen people for the right personality traits, but because it's unconscious, sometimes we will choose people for the wrong personality traits because it's answering a wound or trigger or hurt from our childhood.
Who the f*** are you and what do you want?
Why is your abbot forging night creatures? It doesn't sit well with your faith.
What do you know about faith?
And there's many different types of flirting. Though for men of war, you could see that fighting would be a type of flirting also. So this is definitely them flirting with each other. You like this much better than Jolta's flirting.
Faith is order. When you walk through fire, you shall not be burned, nor will flames consume you. Isaiah 43:2.
Like, this worked for him.
The Messiah knows, I presume, that your abbot is a forge master.
And what happens when you feel attracted to someone is that you end up with a release of dopamine. It kind of floods your system with this feeling. You also end up with an increase of testosterone. That's for men and for women, which makes you more aggressive, more primal, and also makes you more sexually attracted to someone.
He thinks the devils he manufactures will be enough to destroy her when the time comes. What do you think? Do you think he's right?
It affects all kinds of your glands. It releases more sweat. It also heightens various senses. For many people also, when they fall in love, their immune system is kickstarted. It makes you feel more alive. It's on the same level as a dose of cocaine. And that's why falling in love can also be addictive.
Mournful that day, when from the dust shall rise guilty men to be judged. He's threatening you. You reluctant demon.
I love that he's saying he's threatening him, not Olrox doesn't feel like he's threatened or that he has any chance of a threat. That's how much Olrox feels secure in who he is.
Why was the Belmont boy so afraid of you?
I've lived a long time as human and vampire, but I've only really loved once. He was from my little town in Massachusetts.
The thing about falling in love, caring about someone, is also that opening yourself up. If you are really going to allow yourself to fall in love, you have to open up who you are. But that comes with a whole bunch of risks, because that's what intimacy is. Into me I see. Allowing someone else to see who you actually are. And that's what Olrox is doing with this self-disclosure. He's very careful with what he shares with other people, but right away with Mizrak, he's able to share about his past, something that means a lot to him, and in a way that isn't flowery or defensive or evasive. It's direct and to the point, and something that matters very deeply to him. And to be able to do that, to share something that hurts you, that you've been hurt by, means that you have to trust someone, and that's how we build intimate relationships. And so this isn't just a hookup for Olrox.
He was proud to be Mohican, with roots deep in the land and forest. He burned with such passion.
And that's what I think Olrox finds attractive about Mizrak. He also has that burning passion, something he truly believes in. For Olrox, because he is much more jaded, because he's lived all of this time, seen so many things, that he enjoys feeding off of that passion that someone else has. Often we are attracted to someone that has a trait that we do not. Yes, sometimes opposites do attract. Sometimes same people do as well. But we often do appreciate and admire in someone something that we wished we had ourselves.
About the world, about how the people, that's how he talked. Win this thing called freedom. Even people like him. People whose land had been stolen, I mean.
You hear the passion when he's saying these words. He feels that people that have had their land stolen, he feels it deeply within himself. When we care about something and we see someone else care about it as well, we also feel that kinship between people, and that can often bring us together.
Like mine was, oh, so long ago. But he fought with them. The revolutionaries, he fought with them. He almost made me believe in it, too.
And also people that do something that inspire us to be better than ourselves, to do something that we didn't think we can do. That can be really alluring.
Then Julia Belmont killed him.
Because he was a vampire. And you did that to him. Did you even ask permission?
I was in love with him. I wanted him to be with me forever.
This is the only time that I've seen Olrox react in anger, in visceral anger. And that matters. That thing that he's always put together. He's always calm. Even when he killed Julia, he was calm about it, always in control. Whenever we feel something that triggers us really quickly, when we go from 0 to 10, that's because it matters to us. That's because we feel so deeply about it. And probably for Olrox, he carries the guilt of that if he hadn't have done this, maybe he would still be alive. And that his own actions, in a way, had him taken from him. And so that's a pain that he still carries today, even after all of those years.
And is that what you have planned for me?
Of course not, Mizrak. I'm not in love with you.
It's funny because when I first saw this, I believed him. I believed him that, he likes him well enough, but he's not in love with him. He doesn't have any emotional connections. Maybe not yet in love, but definitely has a stronger attraction to Mizrak than he would want us to know.
I'm a goddess.
Of course.
Bow, I said.
You see what a tiny bow he gives? He's not into worshipping things or creatures or gods.
I will make the abbot worship me.
Everyone has a weakness. Priests, dragons.
Yes.
But that was a direct threat. What Drolta is saying is that they know his weakness. We're going to use the abbot's daughter against him to control him. We also know that you have a weakness. And it's true. Once we form an emotional attraction to someone, when we actually care about them, it's not just something physical, it's something emotional. We start to care about them, and in some ways more than ourselves. We want to protect them. All of those neurotransmitters, the norepinephrine, the phenethylamine, that makes us zero in our attention on one person, and we become exceptionally protective of them, not wanting anything bad to happen to them. And I think that the next scene really does show that this hit a nerve.
Once she conquers Europe, we will be her guide into America.
And you will deliver it to me.
And he doesn't like that. Yet, look at the way that he reacts.
I told you to bow.
Now he gives a full bow. What is the difference between these moments? I don't think that he is really that impressed with the little tiny glowing ball that she has. He hasn't really seen it do anything. It's just a whole bunch of words. This is after, though, they've threatened Mizrak. You can see that oppositional defiance on his face. You see that full bow, that oppositional defiance. He does not like being threatened, but he also knows that this is not the time to play his cards. He has survived by keeping his emotions very close to him. He's very rarely reactive. He controls his emotions so that people don't know exactly how he feels. Exceptionally strategic. He has that analytical mind. He's very good at social engineering. He wants to find out all the cards at play so that he can play this game to win.
Stand aside.
Many of us probably missed that little tiny wisp of smoke going across the screen, but that is Olrox. He's there to make sure that Mizrak is safe and to see how the plan is going. It's really important to note that for Olrox, he's already lost someone that he loves. He wasn't able to save them. And when you deal with survivor's guilt, that you've done something that you question so many times, he's going to make sure that he doesn't make the same mistake again.
You're doing the devil's work. We can end this madness.
Also kind of cool, Mizrak does not have any powers. His power is his intensity. His power is how strongly he believes, his faith. And that trait is exceptionally rare, but when you feel something, it matters to you beyond yourself, then you can apply that to other areas of your life. And that can make you achieve something because you will put everything that you have into it. Unfortunately, it also sometimes leaves you with blinders where you're not really going to look because you're so clouded by this single-mindedness. So it can be a strength, but it can also be a weakness because sometimes you might need to let go of something or move on or look at things from a different angle, and you won't for the same reason. Yep, that's Olrox, making sure that Mizrak is okay. I love them fighting together as a team. He has to stay in the shadows so that they don't know it, but he's also going to make sure that Mizrak is okay. Like the little tiny wink that Olrox also gives him, like, you know, I have your back. I just loved watching Mizrak and Olrox working as a team. I think that there's something wonderful about teamwork together and partners. That partners in crime kind of feeling really is exceptionally bonding for people. It's that feeling that you know that someone will be there without even having to ask them, and they fight really well together. Olrox takes that risk of swooshing Mizrak away, worried that he could die if he's gonna fight Erzsébet, because he cares about him that much, even though he's doing it right in front of them. That's a risk to himself. Again, because he's already lost his love. When you've gone through something that's so emotionally hurtful to you, you carry that pain. Often then we become so polarized that no matter what, we want to make sure that we don't make what we feel is a mistake. You'll do anything to fix that past mistake, or at least try to right a wrong.
We have to go back. Coward! Let me go!
You can't fight Erzsébet.
Then you fight her!
Not powerful enough.
She'll kill them!
If you go back, she'll kill you.
It's interesting because you see what matters to both of them. For Mizrak, it's the honor of doing what is the right thing, for fighting for what he believes. It's the same thing for Olrox, but Olrox wants to protect the person that he cares about from having the same end happen to him as well. Sometimes you don't have that same unified goal, and that can break you both apart. Yes, Olrox selfishly took Mizrak away from something that he believed in. Now, did he turn his past love selfishly? It may have been his love's choice. We do not know that. We can't make a guess. But in this case, Olrox made a choice for Mizrak. He didn't ask him, and if he did, he knows what his answer would be. Mizrak wants to be able to fight, to do what is right. He could hold him there, and he doesn't either.
And I don't want you to die, Mizrak.
And now he lets down his guard, right? He allows his vulnerability to be shown to Mizrak so that he gets that he actually matters to him.
You wouldn't understand. You're an animal which lost its soul centuries ago.
Ow! Olrox is here showing his humanity to Mizrak, how he cares about him, so much so that he's gonna risk himself. Mizrak's reaction is disgust, to call him an animal, for the most human of things, for caring about him. Perhaps also for Mizrak, this might be a little bit defensive on his part as well, because if he cares about Olrox, this creature that he believes is soulless, then what does that mean about him? And he may not let him go if he doesn't say something to push him away. You don't have to find a victim to take a bite out of any subject you want with today's sponsor, Brilliant.org. To learn a new skill, get prepared for whatever life has to throw at you. Learn, enjoy, grow with Brilliant's ever-growing new set of courses. Brilliant makes college-level courses available to help you be smart as a whip. Each course is designed for high-velocity learning to help you stay focused and reach your goals Belmont fast. And Brilliant makes learning like a game with fun features to let you challenge yourself and compete with others, so it never gets boring. And we also know that learning's more fun and engaging, and if it is, it makes learning stick better, so you'll remember more easily and quickly. And Brilliant has thousands of lessons, from foundational to advanced math, data science, neural networks, and more, with new lessons being added monthly. I did their course on geometry, where I got to solve problems and look differently at how I look at the shapes around me. I enjoyed the interactivity, but also that I could break down each of the lessons into even smaller bite-sized pieces, so I could learn at the pace that I wanted, no stress. They also have new courses on how technology works and thinking in code. So if you're still not sure, why don't you just try everything that Brilliant has to offer for free? Yes, free for a full 30 days. Just visit brilliant.org/Georgia Dow or click on the link in the description. The first 200 people will get 20% off Brilliant's annual premium subscription. So click on the button on the screen or head on over to brilliant.org/Georgia Dow. Clicking on that button really does help out this channel, so thank you so much, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Now, I don't think that this is the end of the relationship between them, but you can let me know your thoughts in the comments below.